can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut. You can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Swiss Poker Open Day 2, live from the King's Resort in Rozvadov. In seat 1, we have Persia. Seat 2, Radu Pitik. Seat 3, Mark Fredmark. Seat 4, Duplo. Seat 5, Peppa G. Seat 6, Celine Zimmerman. Seat 7, Pixie. Seat 8, Eves. And in seat 9, we have Celine Zimmerman. You can see the stacks there. Our chip leader on the graphics you can see is 52 big blinds playing a stack of 1.3 million. And our short stack is 9 big blinds playing a stack of 225k. The small blind will be 10,000. The big blind will be 25,000 with a 25k running big blind ante. Very excited to be bringing you the action from the Swiss Poker Open Day 2. My name is Dan Rankin. I will be your host and commentator for this evening. This tournament had a guaranteed prize pool of €500,000. The buy-in was €550. And our winner tomorrow will walk away with the Swiss Poker Open title, €84,700. And first, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth will all receive a €10,350 World Series of Poker Europe main event ticket. Just fantastic value on all fronts from the King's Casino, King's Resort live in Rozvadov. Non-stop 24/7 action. If you haven't been there, get yourself a ticket, a plane ticket as soon as possible to go see this resort. Is just fantastic and very feasible for poker players of all buy-in levels. And for me, it's just a must every year on your poker calendar. We are just getting the action started now. The orange chips are 25k, the blue chips are 100k, pink chips 500k, the green chips are 25k. The orange chips are 5k, the green chips are 25k, and the white chips you see in front of you are 100k each. We also have some exciting news to bring to you guys. At the King's shop, we are going to be giving away new hoodies for free. More details about that to follow. If you haven't checked out the merchandise store on the King's website, you can find that and all the other information about the King's Resort on www.kingsresort.com. You can dress like a king. Use the code STREAM10. You will get 10% off your order. It is very important to note that we will only be shipping to the European Union. Hello to all of you in the Twitch chat. I have not seen or heard from you in a few weeks. It is good to be back. Thank you for joining me on this lovely summer's night. Although the summer is almost over, the action has started. You can see in the graphics in the top right hand corner of your screen, there's 64 players remaining. And I do believe we will be playing down to the last 24 players tonight. I will also be bringing you all the action as your host and commentator tomorrow. And we will crown a champion for the Swiss Poker Open. Action here. Peppa G has put Celine all in. Celine running on fumes. I've yet to see the exact size of the pot, but it looks very small. Celine with the best of it here, out kicking Peppa. Queen Jack playing Queen 10. It is 6, 4, 3, 2 clubs. No help to Peppa G. And Celine is set for a double up here to 425k. A little over 8 big blinds. And the running out of the King of Spades and the Four of Hearts will give her that much needed double up. I do believe actually that pot was bigger than I initially thought. Those white chips you see in front of Celine are 100k each, so she has doubled up closer to 20 big blinds. The big blind is 25k, not 50k, as I had mathematically corrected wrong. It's the Space Cowboys for Yves Talman, under the gun, basically playing a stack of 20 big blinds. And he will min raise to 50k. And look at this, Peppa G on the button, ace, queen of clubs. Looks like he is going to be three betting here. This is going to spell trouble for Peppa G. Three betting to 200k. Perhaps committing himself when Yves goes all in here for an additional 300,000. Hello to the moderators. Good to have you back with me. We make a powerful force. And you will see quite a number of eliminations as this night unfolds. And an all-in and a call. You can see that pot. That pot is over a million, 1.1 million in this. It is the Space Cowboys for Yves. The ace, queen of clubs for Peppa. The flop is 9-9-5. Running clubs will work for Peppa now, but looking for that ace from space, and the turn giving Peppa a few more outs. Can now hit a queen, an ace, but it does not come. It is the 10 of clubs. And Yves will add 555k to his stack. Very nice start for Yves. How are you all doing tonight? Let me know in the chat. I expect, if history tends to repeat itself, we will see a lot of action as they play down to the last 24 players. Just look at some, like, top 9 positions, all will get over 6,000 euro for their 550 buy-in. And giving out 6 additional packages for the World Series of Poker Europe in this tournament also. Just staggering amount of value. These prize pools, absolutely mammoth as usual. The amount of action that takes place in this resort is just something to behold. And we will actually play down to the last 14 players tonight. I've just been informed. Or when we reach the end of level 25. All the levels are 50 minutes. So loads of action with this buy-in, as you would expect. 60 players remaining from a starting field of 1,101. Back to the action. It's Mark Fredmark that's opened the King-Queen offsuit. Pixie calling in the small blind with Ace-Queen offsuit, and it's Eves in the big blind. Would think he would just want to try flop a set here. Already this pot approaching 200k. And look at this. 4 in the window. Eves flopping a set. Both players flopping top pair, both with really good kickers. This pot's going to get huge. Just an absolute setup here. Does Pixie want to put more in the middle now? She does, raising to 135k. And Eves licking his chops. His feet must be dancing. Definitely dancing on the inside here. A bet and a raise when you flop a set from the big blind. And I think calling the raise is just the option here that he wants to go for. Now how will this look to the original better on this flop? The original raiser also. Surely getting a price to see a turn for 70k more is the optimal play. And that's an incredible fold. Just a great fold with the King-Queen offsuit. Recognizing that either the small blind or the big blind showing great strength, finding a way to get rid of top pair with a king kicker. Pixie checking over to Eves on this turn. Eves with a small bet of 225k. Not a great turn for Pixie. It depends on how many nines she thinks Eves is calling her raise to 135k with on the flop. But for that price, I don't think she will be folding on this turn. Almost $1 million in this pot, and she checks the river blind. Interesting. That 10 of hearts completes a lot of straight draws and is not a good card for Pixie with the overall range of Eves. If he didn't have the best hand on the turn, he would certainly have it now. He showed strength all the way here. And it just depends on what sizing he thinks Pixie will call. I would like to see Eves make a smallish value bet. Any large sizing is most likely going to scare our customer away. If they did have a hand like King Queen themselves, Queen Jack, you wouldn't expect Pixie to be raising this flop with most hands that contain a 9. So therefore, if he thinks she has the exact kind of hand that she does have, I would be betting somewhere in the region of about 300k. And he does elect to go for 350. I like this sizing. Wouldn't have liked to see him bet any less than 250. Wouldn't have liked to see him bet any more than about 400, 420k. And they're talking to each other, which is something I always mention when I'm commentating. I like how much they talk at the table. There's always a friendliness and a certain level of camaraderie between the players. They are playing for serious cash, but there's always a smile or a joke from someone. This is a very difficult decision for Pixie. And wow, that's a great fold. Pat yourself on the back there, Pixie. You've somehow managed to lose the minimum by that small raise on the flop. Maybe she didn't lose the minimum, but it certainly seems that way from the way the hand is played out. You see an update of the chip counts. Eve's now commanding chip leader at this table of the Swiss Poker Open Day 2. 1.6 million. Pepper G are short stack, but not too short. Still playing 13 big blinds. And we've got that usual spread that's between that 15 to 35 big blind mark. And the hand might have played differently had she just elected to 3-bet from the small blind pre-flop. It depends on how wide she thought the original raiser was opening. With the raise to 55k from Mark Fred Mark. And the call from the big blind from Yanar. The flop of King, Jack, Deuce, Rainbow. Yanar with the top pair. Mark with a good shot and his ace high. Good board to bet in position. Bet of 60k from Mark. And if I'm Yanar, do I want to raise, playing about 25 big blinds, getting it in with my top pair, or just see a turn card? Both options are viable. He does decide to just cram it all in, not wanting to see a turn or a river, to let his opponent catch up in any way, shape or form. And that will do. That will get the job done. Nice pickup there for Yanar. And Radu Pitik, I do believe we seen him on our feature table a month or two ago. The raise with the King Jack of Hearts from Duplo to 55k. Peppa G, Pocket Trees playing a stack of 330k. About 13 big blinds lets the Pocket Trees go. The call from Eves with King 10 off suit from the small or from the button. Persia in the big blind with 4-3 of hearts. Getting a great price to see a flop. Will commit the extra 30k with 4-3 suited from the big blind. The flop is King 9-4 Rainbow. Top pair for Duplo, top pair for Eves. Bottom pair with some backdoors for Persia. So an interesting flop for all three players. A bet of 60k from Duplo. A call from Eves on the button. That will get the 4-3 of hearts out of the way. That turn card is the 9 of diamonds. Bit of an action killer. A small bet of 75k from Duplo. Would expect Eves to call an additional 75k and see the river. Just under $500,000 in this pot now as we see the river card. The river card is the Queen of Spades. Not a great card for either player. Duplo waving the white flag and checking. Now does Eves think his opponent will call with any worse hand? Maybe Duplo had something that contained diamonds with a queen, but he does just check behind, and these guys will chop it up. So not much has changed with the chip counts. Eve's still out in front, Peppa still the lowest with 13 big blinds. Nice run for Eve's indeed. You always want to, it's always nice to win a poker tournament, but it's extra nice to be able to take it down when it represents where you're from. 57 players remaining now, with the average stack almost reaching 1 million. A testament to these structures, as I always mention on the streams. The average stack always maintaining around 30 to 40 big blinds at this stage of the tournament. Plenty of play for our players as Peppa G moves all in with ace-10 offsuit. Pass from the small blind, and Radu Pitik will not be passing from the big blind with ace-king offsuit. Makes the call, dominating Peppa. And it is Peppa who is all in and in trouble, needing a 10, some straight or some flush cards. Just a 31% chance to survive, 69% underneath the ace-king, as you can see on the graphics. That is 3 hearts, queen, 9, 7. Peppa now, good flop for Peppa. You can see 52% for the ace-10, and the turn is the 6 of spades. That switches things a little bit. Needing a heart or a 10 here. The river, the king of clubs, and that will do it for Peppa G. Unlucky to run into such a large holding of Radu Pitik from the big blind. "56 players remaining now. All players guaranteed €1,275. And Celine with the pocket rockets raising quite a large sizing here. The full 3x from the pocket aces from under the gun +1 for Celine. Around to Radu. Will fold his Jack-7 of spades, and Mark will get rid of his junky 8-4 offsuit. She will pick up the blinds and antes, much to her dismay. And Yanar in the hijack with ace queen of clubs, playing a stack of 800k. Will make a large raise here to 100k. Not messing around with his ace queen of clubs. 4 times the big blind. We'll take the blinds and antes also. So hand number 10 from the Swiss Poker Open, day 2, live from the King's Resort in Rozvadov. Yanar with the pocket ladies. Just deciding to limp this one, it seems, with the pocket ladies. 25k. A little bit of deception. The problem is, when it goes like this, you can bring people in with marginal holdings for a very cheap price. No price at all from the big blind with 10-3 of spades. And there you go, Jack 10-3. 2 pair for Celine, outflopping Rasim Yanyar with the 2 ladies. And Celine raising here to 180k. And Yanar immediately all in. Celine calling her additional 225k. And this pot is almost $1 million. Celine outflopping Yanar's pocket queens and needing help. Just under 40% for Yanar. Celine set for a chunky double up. The turn is the 4 of clubs, and that is no help to the pocket ladies. And the river is the ace of spades. Celine doubling up. Yanar, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Limping with his pocket queens, has lost a considerable chunk of his stack. But it is not always going to be in the 10-3 of spades favorite going to the flop. You are not often going to flop 2 pair. But on this occasion, it is the 2 Swiss out in front, Yves Calvin and Celine Zimmerman. 34 big blinds for Yves, for 64 big blinds for Yves, 38 for Celine. 3 of our players at the table all playing 33 big blinds. And Yanar limping again under the gun +1. This time the Queen 9 offsuit, and Mark picking up Ace Queen of Spades is putting an end to that, moving all in for 345k. Yanar won't be calling this one. And Mark will most likely just take the blinds and antes. So back to the action under the gun, this time for Yanar with Ace 9 of Spades. And for the third time he is limping, this time with the Ace 9 of Spades. Yanar likes to get busy and see flops and play pots. Now the Hungarian from the small blind, looking like she's just going to complete for the 15k more. And this will bring in Eves with 5-3 offsuit. And it looks like we have another new player, Dmitry Bogdanov, at the table. We could have a 5-way family pot here. And we do indeed. Excited to see what this flop brings. That flop is Jack 8-5 Rainbow. Our new player, Dmitry Bogdanov, flopping best with his pair of jacks with 10 kicker. Out flopping the King 10 and Ace 10 of Pixie and Celine. He will bet 55k. I do believe we seen Dmitry Bogdanov on our stream a few weeks ago. His bet of 55k will take that pot down as you would imagine it would do with 4 weaker holdings. No one connecting with the board other than Dmitry. Nice little pickup. Always like to see a family pot. It can create a lot of fireworks. This time, however, that was not the case. And it's Pixie opening the Ace 10 offsuit. Yanar calling in the big blind with Queen Jack offsuit for 35k more. The flop is Queen Jack 4. Yanar smashing this flop, flopping top 2. Pixie with a good shot, straight draw to go with her ace high. She will check behind. The turn is the 4 of clubs. Check, check, and the river, the 9 of diamonds. Yanar checking again. Pixie won't bite with a bluff. Yanar will win the 155k pot. I like Yanar's check on the river there. Analysing the situation, trying to induce a bluff from our opponent. The 3x raise from the pocket fives from the hijack of Celine. Around to the big blind of Persia. We'll let the Jack 8 offsuit go for an additional 2 more big blinds. 50k you would have to have called. 53 players remaining now. Around to Duplo. Haven't seen much of Duplo so far. Pocket sixes here, playing a stack of 825k. Raising to 60k. It is Dmitry Bogdanov with ace, king of spades. And a 3-bet to 175k. This is awkward and interesting for Eves. Pocket jacks, a raise and a 3-bet in front of him. But he is our chip leader at the table. He does have everyone covered by a considerable margin. Does he want to play for stacks? The problem here is we haven't seen much of Duplo. The raise initially has come from under the gun +1. Under the gun +2 with ace, king of spades has 3-bet. So both opponents have shown considerable strength. And he isn't the cutoff. He still has the button, the small blind and the big blind to worry about, but I would expect him to get involved. But on the other side of that coin, he doesn't have to get involved. He is playing a stack of 1.6 million. And that is very good disciplined fold. It might seem very nitty, but when you really break it down, there's been a raise from a quiet player at the table and a 3-bet right beside that quiet player. I say quiet player, we have only played 15 hands. But Eves would have to be playing for stacks there, and that would be a considerable hit to his stack if he was wrong. Makes the big laydown, doesn't want to flip. If I remember Dmitry Bogdanov, I don't think Dmitry was going anywhere with ace king of spades. However, with a 4-bet back to you to call off for your tournament life, your ace king of spades is not looking as good or as hot as it was before you 3-bet. However, I feel like he would have been calling it off. There's two ways of looking at that pocket jacks. If we go for it all and lose, we still have the guts of $1 million in our stack. However, when we fold, we still have 1.6 million without risking anything. Let me know what you think about that fold in the chat. I will answer any or all of your questions throughout the night. The average stack creeping just over $1 million now. 53 players remaining. All players now guaranteed €1,489. You are watching the Swiss Poker Open Day 2 if you are just tuning in. I am your host and commentator for the Swiss Poker Open Day 2 and Day 3 tomorrow until we crown a champion for the sum of €84,700 live from the King's Resort in Rozvadov. Stay tuned because action is just getting underway. There's always a surprise around the corner at King's. Back to the action. Eves has opened with King 7 of diamonds from the hijack to 50k. Perja with an ideal scenario to put in his last 390k, just shy of 15 big blinds with ace king off suit. The ace slickens. Does move all in. That will get Radu Pitik to fold his pocket fours. And Eves won't be calling an additional 340k, and that's a nice and a needed pickup for Persia's stack. Will now be playing a cool $500,000, 20 big blinds. And Radu Pitik, I commentated on his final table a few weeks ago when he picked up €41,000 for his third place efforts. That was a €290 buy-in. It was the Shark Bay main event. So he will be one to watch out for at this feature table. Celine choosing the ace-8 of clubs from under the gun +1, raising to 75k, 3 times the big blind. Fred Mark from the small blind with ace-jack off suit. A good opportunity for him to go all in. He does do just that. Will put his stack just over $500,000. Just over that 20 big blind mark. And Yanar folding this one with the king 10 offsuit around to the hijack for Persia. Folding also, Radu gets out the way, the small blind for Duplo with ace queen of clubs. Playing 700k, just little under 30 big blinds. The blinds actually have gone up this hand. The small blind is now 15k. The big blind is now 30k with a 30k big blind ante. And this spelling trouble for Dmitry Bogdanov. Re-shipping all in. Just a complete setup here. 1.5 million in the middle. It's a sick enough situation for Dmitry. Duplo dominating his opponent here with ace queen of clubs. It is Dmitry who is going to need some big help. The jack, some spades, some straight draws, but the flop is king, 3, deuce, rainbow. Sorry, not rainbow, 2 hearts, but no player in this hand is containing a heart, so it is irrelevant. Turn card, the 3 of diamonds. Just 20% now for Dmitry. The river, the 7 of clubs, not going to do it. That will do for Duplo. Getting the job done, blind v blind. Ace queen of clubs against the ace jack offsuit of Dmitry. And Dmitry, he won't be eliminated, but he will be left with less than 10 big blinds, I do believe. We will see once the chips are counted up. There is an update on the graphics. Eves, 1.5 million, 50 big blinds is our chip leader. Dmitry, now our short stack with 8 big blinds. 3 of our players in between the 20 to 30 big blind range. 3 of our players in between the 10 to 20 big blind range. 14, 16, 16, 23, 26 and 30. Duplo now playing 48 big blinds. So right on Eve's tails for the chip leader here. Round to Persia, ace 7 of spades. From early-ish position, under the gun plus 3. Raised to 65k. Duplo on the button. You can see in the top right hand corner of the screen there is 53 players remaining from a starting field of 1,101. This is a €550 buy-in. And all players are now guaranteed €1,489. Duplo is called on the button of Queen 10 offsuit. Dmitry has come along with King Jack offsuit. That's no problem, Voody. Great flop for Dmitry. Surprised we didn't just see him shove pre-flop with all that money in there already. King 4-3, all hearts will get Persia with his ace 7 of spades out of the way. Now Duplo, he has the 10 of hearts, but quite a strong shove from Dimitri. He's not just going to be doing that willy-nilly into two opponents. Round to Duplo in the cutoff with King Jack of Spades. Raising to 65k, just over the min raise. Celine getting us in a reduced price from the small blind with 10-9 of diamonds. We'll call. And Pixie just having to put in 35k more. Ideally see a flop here with Queen 10 off suit. Flop is Jack 8 5 2 diamonds. Really big flop for Celine here. I expect to see a lot of chips going in. Duplo flopping top pair with a very good kicker. Pixie will get out of the way, but Celine just electing to call a bet of 65k. And Pixie now, with her gut shot, is getting a great price. Decides to get out of the way. I would have liked to see Celine raise this up, because the problem is if you don't hit the turn, our equity of her hand goes down considerably. But maybe in this instance she has saved herself some money. A tiny bet here on the river of 100k. That will get looked up by Duplo pretty quickly. Celine maybe saving her tournament there, but hindsight is a great thing. Flopping this strong with a hand like that, you want to just get the money in on the flop. Radu Pitik raising with pocket eights, 60k. Duplo calling, two little ducks. But it is eves from the big blind. Celine also coming along with ace-3 of spades on the button, but look at this. Eves with the two ladies, the two black ladies from the big blind. Great spot to pick these up. Just deciding what size he wants to make it. Duplo now having him covered. I would like to see him make it somewhere around 300k, 350. And he's gone for 275k. Radu, if I remember correctly, he's certainly not afraid to put chips in the middle. Very calm and collected individual. Realizes how strong Eves looks in this situation, reads the situation correctly and folds his pocket eights. And it's the ladies again, this time for Persia. 50 players remaining now, the average stack 1.1 million. So the average stack, as I have aforementioned, always in or around that 30 to 40 big blind mark at this stage of the tournament when we're down to the last 5, 6, 7 tables. Persia not messing around, just moving all in for just under 15 big blinds, 435k with the pocket queens. No one had a hand strong enough that could contend with the two ladies. We move on to the next hand. Round to Pixie in the cutoff. Just moving all in with King Queen offsuit. She will just take it down. A lot of chips to just be jamming there with a hand like King Queen offsuit. Taking down the blinds and antes at this late stage, very valuable of course. However, we want to give our opponents the opportunity to flop top pairs and straight draws, and just with their queen tens, their queen nines, their queen eight suited from the small and big blind. we are going to dominate when our opponent also flops top pair. And that is how we ultimately get paid, but she was just deciding to make sure she got the blinds and antes on that one. Around to Celine, hand 24, raising to 90k with ace-5 of hearts. Pixie picking up the ladies. Ladies being the hand of the tournament so far. They're coming out strong every few hands. Moving all in for 670k. And are with the ace-jack off suit, but with that much action behind him, wisely getting out of the way. Under the gun for Duplo, King Jack off suit. Paying a stack of 1.7 million now, nearly 60 big blinds. And look at this, Pixie once again. The pocket ladies. Now, she doesn't want to just move all in here. You want to get paid, get value from holding such a strong hand as pocket queens. I'd like to see her make it no more than 200k here. She is 3-betting to 150k. Two and a half X times the original opener. When it comes around to Duplo, it will just be 90k more for him to call and see a flop. With 285k already in there. Getting decent price to see a flop here. But Pixie has to look quite strong. 3-betting and under the gun opener here to just 2.5x times his open. But he is getting a great price and he probably will peel. And I guess because his hand wasn't suited, he decides to let this one go. And if you are just tuning in, my name is Dan Rankin. I am your commentator and host for the Swiss Poker Open for the remainder of tonight and all of tomorrow until we crown a champion here live from the King's Resort in Rozvadov. we are running a special promo just for the stream viewers. Use the code STREAM10. You will get 10% off your order. The King's shop, so you can dress like a king. You can find out all the stuff from the merchandise store and all the other things going on from the King's Resort. All the information you need at www.kingsresort.com. We also have an exciting free giveaway that will be taking place. I do believe tomorrow and for the upcoming weeks, we will be giving away some brand new King's Resort hoodies. So make sure you get involved with that. I will have more details about that tomorrow. For now, it's all top secret. Yanar going to take this one down with his walking sticks, the pocket sevens. An update of the chip counts on the graphics in front of us. Eves now 56 big blinds, but it's a toss-up for who. They keep swapping the chip lead. Duplo and Eves, very similar stacks. See, the closest now is Pixie with 32 big blinds, Radu with 21, Celine 15, Dimitri 14, Persia 14, Mark 14, and Yanar 14. The 5 of our players with almost identical stacks at this table. Round to Radu with 10-8 offsuit and the cutoff. Lets it go. Duplo in the small blind, Jack 8 of diamonds, Dimitri in the big blind. Dimitri playing a stack of 14 big blinds. A limp from Duplo, and Dimitri electing to just check behind with his ace of 4 of spades, trying to be sneaky. Check, check goes the flop of King, Queen, 7. Turn, the 4 of diamonds, giving Duplo a flush draw. And he's checking it over to his opponent. I would have liked to maybe see him bet the flop, or especially the turn here. Dimitri with a pair now. But we will see a river. And the river completes the flush for Duplo. It goes check, check. Duplo going to win this one. Pixie now, pocket 9s under the gun. raising to 80k. Dimitri jamming from the button, taking down the blinds and antes, very crucial at this stage with Jack 9 offsuit. I seem to have read the situation wrong. Has he been called? His cards seem to be. Oh, did he show? My apologies there. Small bit confusing. Seen him turn over his cards. Mark just bought a white Christmas Scribbles t-shirt and a white cap on the King's shop. Going to have to get some merchandise myself. Hopefully make it over to Rozvadov for that World Series of Poker Europe. .49 players remaining now. Mark raising with King 10 offsuit to 70k. Now Pixie from the small blind. We've seen her just call earlier with Ace Queen offsuit. This time with King Queen offsuit. What way does she want to play it? Pixie has been quite tricksy so far. And her cautious approach has led her to lose smaller pots in one or two situations. The flop 9-9-3, 2 diamonds. Check from the King Queen. Mark with the betting lead, would expect him to continue here for a small sizing. That is exactly what happens here. A bet of 65k. Pixie with no backdoor diamonds. Just with King Queen high, she might just have to let this go. He only has just under 300k behind. Pixie just deciding there are better spots as we lose another player, down to 48 players now, as you can see from the top right hand corner of the screen. And we lose another player. 47 players remaining now. All players guaranteed €1,489 from their €550 investment. The check from Eves with his Queen 7 offsuit. Janar checking behind with a straight draw. And that turn card giving him the straight. Ace 2, 3, 4, 5. Problem is his opponent has absolutely nothing. Albeit Queen high. Lets the Queen high go. Janar will pick up that very small pot. Fred Mark raising with pocket 8s to 70k. Janar 9-7 of diamonds in the small blind. 55k more to call, gets out the way. And Radu, King Deuce offsuit. Did not expect him to be playing this one, but it is only 40k more for him to call. Getting over 3-1 to see a flop. The problem is, when we flop a king, we can be oftentimes out-kicked. We flop a deuce, we're going to have overcards, we're not going to really know where we're at. We're getting an irresistible price called for 40k more. It is Queen, Jack, Deuce. 2 spades. Flop going check, check. Now, if we are Radu, do we want to deny our opponent of equity and bet something small here? That is exactly what he goes for. 55k is the bet. And if we are Mark, we call with our pocket eights to see a river getting such a big price, but Radu looking stronger than he was there. Did have a pair of twos, however. Might have called to see a river there if I was in his shoes with pocket eights, but we have to think and consider that we'll be facing another bet from the big blinds range. And in that case, we are just burning money if our opponent is going to bet again, and we most likely cannot call on many rivers. He does decide to just let it go on the turn. Duplo raising with ace jack off suit to 60k. Round to Radu. Now this is a nice hand to see a flop with 9-8 of clubs from the small blind. Just 45k more to call. Mark with 6-3 offsuit won't be calling, even though it was only 30k more. And the flop, Queen 5-4, 2 clubs. Flush draw for Radu, ace high for Duplo. Does quickly go check, check. The turn is the 4 of spades. Hello, Hippie Poker. Thank you for joining us. For the Swiss Poker Open. Radu deciding to bet on this turn. And Duplo getting out of the way with his ace high. Round to the button for ace-3 offsuit for Radu. He will raise to 75k, 2.5 times the big blind. Mark with a great opportunity to re-jam here with his king 10 of diamonds. Decides to get out of the way. Bit tight for Mark here with such a nice suited hand. Instead, it's Duplo considering seeing a flop with Jack 8 offsuit for 45k more. Decides to let it go. Update of the chip counts. You can see not much has changed. The last 4 players all with a very similar stack, and Pixie and Radu both 30 big blinds, 31 big blinds. Duplo with 50 big blinds, and Eves just narrowly ahead with 3 extra big blinds. 46 players remaining now. We will play down until there is 14 players left tonight, or the end of level 25 is reached. 3 more levels after this level, so plenty of action yet to come. "50-minute levels here. Lots of deep stack action.
Surprise, surprise, the king is back.
But it's not so much that it's deep stack, but the structures allow for so much play, with the average stack being between 30 and 40 big blinds from when the players are in the money right down to the last table or two, which is quite remarkable for a €550 buy-in. Back to the action. We've got Eves here with King Queen offsuit, raising to 60k from under the gun +1. Yanar with a decision under the gun +2 with pocket sevens. And he elects to just call this one. He could have folded, moved all in, or called. He has decided to call. Four-way action to the flop. The king in the window. King 10 3 2 diamonds is the flop. Eves top pair, queen kicker. No one else really has anything. Eves with a small bet of 80k. Yanar with his pocket sevens, but very bad flop for pocket sevens with 2 players behind. And that will do. Get the job done for Eves. We'll add a few big blinds more to his stack. Extend his chip lead over Duplo. The average stack almost reaching 1.2 million now with 46 players remaining. All in from Mark from the hijack with King 10 offsuit for just over 400k. We'll get everyone out of the way and he'll take the blinds and antes and add 75k to his stack. Duplo folding a6 offsuit from the hijack. Dimitri getting a little spicy here, raising to 100k with 7-4 offsuit from the cutoff.
7 raised, 315, 315.
Celine 3-betting with King Queen of clubs from the button, and Pixie now with Ace King of diamonds from the small blind. And it was a virtual all-in from Celine. This is all in and call. The two ladies going to war here. Celine with way the worst of it here with King Queen of clubs against Pixie's Ace King of diamonds. Celine going to need some clubs, some straight draws for a lady. She is going to be our 45th place finisher to flop. Queen 10-7, flopping strong here for Celine, but it's not over yet. He's 69% underneath her cards. Turn card, the 4 of spades. Pixie needing an ace or a jack. River to 7 of diamonds. Celine will double up, and Pixie will lose about half of her stack. Big double up for Celine there. Quite a hit to Pixie's stack. Nothing she could do. Ace King of diamonds just way too strong of a hand. Celine raising with 6-5 of diamonds from the cutoff. Eves getting out of the way with King 10 off suit. And it looks like we are going to have a new player at the table. The Austrian Abd El Ghanem. The round to Pixie, moving all in from the cutoff for 575k. Just under. The blinds have just gone up, so it will be slightly less here. The small blind now 20k, the big blind 40k. So she has gone all in for a little under 15 big blinds. Pixie taking down the blinds and antes. Mark, the pocket tens under the gun, moving all in for just under $500,000. 12.5 big blinds for Mark. And look at this, Duplo with Ace King offsuit, under the gun +1. We will be seeing action here. He is going to jam over the top for 1.5 million. And look at this for Abd. Just after joining the table, but 1.5 million will scream strength. He will easily get away from Ace Queen offsuit here, I'd say, from the small blind. Welcome to the table, sir. Fair fight, big coin flip for both players. Mark needing his pocket tens to hold. Duplo not looking to lose nearly a third of his stack. The flop is 5, 6, 7, all clubs. A great flop for Mark, but not that great because the king of clubs is contained by Duplo. So now a club gives Duplo the win here. The turn coming to 7 of clubs, the river coming to 5, and Mark getting big double up. Duplo taking a hit. He will be chuffed with that one. Really nice hold. Putting him up over $1 million now. Duplo still with $1 million. Which changes things.
Surprise, the king is back.
Around to Pixie. She's got pocket queens again. It's their third or fourth time to get pocket queens. Probably third. And 42. Swiss Poker Open. I would like to see her do something other than all in here. Her hand is simply too strong. She's raised to 200k, but this is just going to scream strength 5 times the big blind. Basically saying, come on, I'm playing for it all. We really want to give our opponents the opportunity to flop a weaker holding than ours. When we make it this sizing, it's very hard to give our opponents a chance to even see a flop. Mark with his 9-7 of diamonds. Possibly calling for a smaller sizing, but not 200k. Around to Eves. The Space Cowboys will be opening. This time opening the min to 80k. The name of the girl, she is a Hungarian lady, just going by the name of Pixie. We do not have any more information on her than that. There is another woman at our table. Celine Zimmermann from Switzerland. "44 players remaining now. We've had another elimination. And that means all players are now guaranteed €1,745. Meanwhile, Ab picking up pocket jacks. The Jeffries. He will raise to 90k. Round to the hijack for Radu. Ace-4 offsuit will be raising to 80k. Playing in or around 20 big blinds total. Celine will call for 40k more. Queen 9 offsuit. The flop is Jack 4-4. Radu flopping by way the best of it. By far the best of it. 42 players now remaining. Bet of 50k from Radu. And Celine choosing this combination to raise to 125k, and the problem here is she doesn't realize Radu has a 4 in his hand. Not going to have many 4s contained in Radu's range. So Celine not buying it, raising to 125k. And now there is some sort of an issue here, because I think Radu has wanted to call, but whatever way he's put out the chips has indicated a raise. Although I could be wrong here. It seems like he wouldn't just click it back to 200k, putting it back on Celine for 75k more. But either way, Celine will get out of the way. Interesting that she chose to raise there. I like her play, not believing Radu to contain a 4 in his hand. Therefore, can get him off some weaker holdings, maybe even an ace high, but this time Radu had smacked the deck in the face, and therefore he was going nowhere. I said the moment I seen this man earlier, he's one to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed commentating on his play at the Shark Bay main event a couple of months back. He took down €41,000, and of course the €10,350 World Series of Poker main event ticket. The average stack now 1.342 million. Mark raising to 85k. We've had another elimination, 41 players remaining now from a starting field of 1,101. Duplo, ace king off suit. Just calling this one, perhaps not wanting to get it all in after losing a third of his stack previously with ace king. The problem when we call here with ace king is we let other people come into the pot from the button, the small blind and the big blind. This flop is 8-7-4. Great flop for Celine from the small blind. The other two not liking this one with their king queen and ace king. And this giving Celine a boat, the turn card, the 7 of clubs. Ginar all in for 280k from under the gun with Queen Jack off suit. 40 players remaining now. Duplo with the Space Cowboys, the Pocket Kings. Another elimination, 39 players remaining now. Pay jump of about €250 coming when they reach 35 players. Duplo raising to 110k. We'll see an update of the chip counts. Abd is our chip leader, playing over 2 million. Dimitri, our short stack. And everything in between. We have Eves with 44 big blinds, Radu with 25, Duplo 23, Mark 22, Celine 20, and Pixie 16 big blinds. Small blind 20k, big blind 40k with a 40k running big blind ante. If you are just tuning in, this is the Swiss Poker Open live from the King's Resort in Rozvadov. I am your commentator and host for this evening and tomorrow, Dan Rankin. The average stack is now over 1.4 million, 39 players remaining. We will play down to 14 players tonight, or this level and 2 more additional levels after the break. Things are quiet in the Twitch chat tonight. Hope you are enjoying the action and the content so far. Things will be certainly heating up as we play down to the end of the night, and you all know by now how much action comes on the final day as we will crown a champion. 38 players remaining now, 3 players away from that pay jump. Just €250 or so, but they all count at this late stage. Well, gangster guns, you said they only playing ace, king, ace, queen or high pairs. What can happen in these situations, big people picking up big holdings, and it will look like the action has a lull or has dulled down. Then suddenly you will see like 3 eliminations in a row, or just some fireworks or crazy hands happening out of nowhere. So stay tuned, because there's always a surprise around the corner at Kings. There's so much non-stop action. The orange chips are 5k, the green chips are 25k, and those white chips you see the players that have in front of them are 100k each. Dimitri taking down the blinds and antes with his king, 7 of spades. Yes, Gangster Guns, thank you for your comment. I do agree. Non-stop action every weekend from Kings. Always another event on when one has just finished. I'm hoping I will get to go over and play the World Series of Poker Europe myself, but we will see closer to the time. I've been enjoying bringing you action most weekends over the summer. So much entertainment, so much to learn from watching these structures play out. And things get so edgy when there's the additional value of that €10,350 World Series of Poker Europe main event ticket. Make sure anyone just tuning in or anyone that's on the Twitch live stream to tune in tomorrow when we will talk about giving away free hoodies, new merchandise straight from the King's shop. You can find out all the information about King's Resort and the merch on www.kingsresort.com. You can use this stream code, you use stream10, and you will get 10% off all your purchases. Abd opening to 90k with his pocket jacks. Duplo in the small blind, jack 9 of clubs, a playable hand, but with his stack, I don't know how much he wants to get involved here. Lets it go. Dimitri follows suit with his queen 5 offsuit from the big blind. Jacks will take the blinds and antes, and we'll move on to the next hand. Snake, that's a very good question. As we draw, I believe this will be the only table you will see here tonight, so if you get to move to this table, I don't know the name of your friend, be sure to keep an eye out for him. But there will be a redraw tomorrow, usually for 24 players left, 16 players left, and 9 players left when we reach the final table. We don't have information on outer tables, unfortunately. We have another elimination, so 37 players remaining now. 36. We've had two eliminations in a row there. One elimination away from the pay jump. The next player out will receive €1,745, and then that's just been reached. So we now have 35 players remaining. Every player now guaranteed €2,028. Meanwhile, Mark raising to 90k with his pocket jacks. Dmitry Bogdanov from the small blind going all in. Can't blame him for his last 285k with ace-9 offsuit. And he is going to need help. Mark by far the best hand here. 66% you can see underneath his pocket jacks. Dmitry is in trouble and needing help. And an ace in the window, ace 8-8, Dmitry flopping the ace, and it's now Mark that needs help. He's a pop. One of the two remaining jacks in the deck. The turn is the 6 of clubs. No help there, just down to 6% for Mark. A jack and a, oh my god, a jack. He hits the jack of hearts on the river. Was not expecting that jack. Dmitry Bogdanov will be eliminated as our 35th player. We are down to 34 players remaining now. The only one that was not expecting a jack there in the slightest, but The best hand does prevail. Ab now 54 big blinds, 2.2 million. Eves 44, Mark 29, Radu 25, Duplo 20 big blinds. Celine with 18, and our short stack is not that even that short. Pixie with 16 big blinds. Mark with King Jack off suit from the hijack, paying a stack of 1.2 million. Will raise to 90k. No one has anything. Mark will take the blinds and antes. It looks like we have a new player at the table. His name is Goofy. Playing a stack of 790k from Germany. Pixie giving Eves a walk. Gangster Guns, I am not sure what the starting stack was. It's usually 20 or 30k minimum. Sometimes it can be 50 or 40, but the standard starting stack for some of these tournaments is usually 30k, I do believe. We tuned in from when the money had just been burst. It's about 60 players left. $50k starting stack. Thank you for clarifying that, which just shows it's a testament to how great these structures are. That's a whopping starting stack, and there's so much play, so much value to be had for your 550 buy-in. First, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth will all win that €10,350 World Series of Poker Europe main event ticket. Meanwhile, back to the action. Radu raising under the gun +1, Queen 9 of clubs. Duplo in the hijack with pocket kings. The Space Cowboys, I think that's the third time I've seen him with pocket kings. Second or third. He was unlucky with his ace king against the pocket tens earlier. Perhaps he should have played his ace king the second time a little differently than just flatting. He doesn't look like he's going to be flatting this time with the Cowboys. 3-betting to 245k. And Radu deciding to peel here. This could spell disaster for Radu. He's flopped top pair. Decent kicker. 590k in the middle. And Duplo has just moved all in, and this could look quite strong for Radu, but when you flop top pair after peeling a 3-bet here, very, very difficult to just fold. Wow, wow, wow. Radu calling the 3-bet out of position and finding a check fold after flopping top pair. I tell you, there must be a live read or a tell on his opponent there somewhere. Granted, Duplo's jam looks very strong, but to some people that could also look quite weak with a hand like ace king, ace queen, maybe some diamonds. And overall, it has to be said, that is a quite impressive fold by Radu. I tip my hat and pat that man on the back for that fold. I am not sure I would have been able to let that one go with the size of the pot. Now it's Pixie. See, I don't like this from Pixie. She's got the best possible starting hand of the deck with just under 15 big blinds. We don't want to just take the blinds and antes with pocket aces. The only advantage we have of going all in here for this kind of stack size is that our opponents would never think that we have aces. However, we are not giving them the opportunity to flop a hand or a pair or a draw or anything that can go against us. And yes, it's fine to take down the blinds and antes, but with a hand as strong as pocket aces, we want action. Around to eves with ace-10 offsuit. And Goofy deciding to go over the top of Eve's cutoff open here. Goofy choosing a combination of Queen 8 offsuit, moving all in for 690k. And this might work, you know. Eve's having ace-10. Is he wanting to put 15 more big blinds in the middle here? He folded. Interesting move by Goofy there with just Queen 8 offsuit, but not messing around there. Wants to take the blinds and antes, and Eve's open off him. Abs. Pocket jacks. Playing a stack of over 2 million on the button. And now Radu from the small blind here. A good opportunity to rejam against the chip leader opening on the button. Ab certainly not needing a hand as strong as Jack's to open on the button here. And a good opportunity to re-steal. Radu will get bad news here. Just 34% for the King 10 offsuit. It is Radu who's going to need some help. The flop, Ace, Queen, 4. Straight draw for Radu, but needing one of Ab's jacks. Jack's way out in front here to turn the 8 of spades. King or a jack for Radu, or he is gone. Disappointing finish for Radu. I would have liked to see more of him. Enjoyed watching him at the last final table he was on, as I already mentioned. Great fold from him, flopping top pair there, Queen 9. Just good intuition. And the rich get richer, lads. And we have another elimination. We're down to 33 players now, I believe. And Celine choosing 6-5 offsuit under the gun, raising to 125k. Very interesting open here from Celine. 34 players remaining, not 33. Pixie with ace-jack offsuit. But there's a 3 times the big blind open here from Celine. Pixie's ace-jack offsuit isn't looking too pretty. Gets the out ace-jack offsuit to fold. And the 6-5 offsuit from under the gun into a full table will get the job done, and that will do for Celine. Interesting play, but it works. Nice pickup from Celine. Round to abs. Ace. Deuce off suit from the cutoff, raising to 90k. Celine coming along in the big blind for 50k more with 8-5 off suit, and the flop is King Jack 3, 2 clubs. We've had another elimination. 32 players remaining now. Bet of 80k from Celine. Gets looked up by Ad. A non-believer. 77 big blinds now for Abd as we go on a break. But stay tuned for more action. We will be back in about 13 minutes. Don't go anywhere as we play down another 2 full levels live from the King's Resort in Rozvadov. Stay tuned.
You can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut. can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut. You can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut. You can now come and hang out at the King's Lounge located right next to the buffet and directly opposite the poker arena to try out some of the best shisha in all of Europe. For those of you that aren't aware, shisha is a steamed instrument that's used to vaporize and then smoke flavored tobacco. After a long day of playing at the poker tables, for me personally, this is the perfect way to unwind and relax in comfort and luxury. So why don't you come and check out the King's Lounge? Cut.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Swiss Poker Open Day 2, live from the King's Resort in Rozvadov. We are going to play two more levels here tonight. Abd, the chip leader, with 62 big blinds. Celine, our short stack, with 10 big blinds. And then Yves with 33 big blinds. Mark with 26. Duplo with 21. And our new player, the German Goofy, with 17 big blinds. The small blind coming back is going to be 25k. The big blind 50k with a 50k running ante. My name is Dan Rankin. I am your host and commentator for this evening and tomorrow. So much more action to come here from the Swiss Poker Open. We'll play two more levels tonight, so that is another 2 hours of entertainment here, guys. There was $500,000 guaranteed. €550 buy-in. First prize will be taking home €84,700, and of course the title of the Swiss Poker Open champion. First, second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth will all receive a €10,350 World Series of Poker Europe main event ticket also. 32 players remaining from a starting field of 1,101. The average stack now reaching almost 1.8 million, so in or around that 35 to 40 big blind range. And we have just got the action back underway. Yves opening under the gun with King Queen offsuit from a stack of about 1.7 million. Abd in the hijack with 10-9 of diamonds, playing a stack of 3.1 million, a whopping stack for this man. The Austrian. He has elected to 3-bet to 225k. Just 125k more for Yves to call and see a flop. And I do believe he will do that. And that he does. So we will see a flop. Already 575k in the middle here. And the flop is ace, 8, 6, 2 diamonds. A serious flop for Abd. With inside straight draw, flush draw, out flopping the King Queen considerably, betting tiny 80k here, which is an incredibly small bet into a pot of this size. Perhaps inducing a raise so we could go over the top. Yves with absolutely nothing though. No diamonds, just king high, and he will have to let it go, unfortunately. That pot will go to Ab. Around to the small blind for Pixie. We'll move all in with pocket jacks. If you've been watching, you'll know that she doesn't mess around with her big hands. These will fold his 10 deuce offsuit. She'll pick up the blinds and antes, which is 100k now. You can really afford to open up your game with 4 tables remaining, 8 players at each table. "31 players remaining now." What I noticed from that last hand is opening with ace-5 offsuit. The big stack can really apply the pressure to these smaller stacks. And it's such an advantage at this late stage as we play the last 2 levels remaining tonight. All players wanting to make it through to tomorrow, coming back, having a chance to play for that gold, the World Series of Poker Europe main event ticket, and of course the title of being Swiss Poker Open champion. And that is going to play in all the players' minds. Also, decision fatigue setting in with just 2 hours left of the day. These players will have played a hard day yesterday, a long, hard-fought day today, and it can really just mess with your head in certain spots, being too tight in certain spots and too loose in others. And having that big stack is really such an advantage because you don't have to worry about these things. But you can't get too out of line because losing a huge portion of your stack can be very detrimental to your mindset at this late stage. He's in the cutoff here with ace-10 offsuit. Goofy going all in over the top. We've seen him do this just before the break with queen 8 offsuit. Now Eves also had ace-10 then, and he's just folded ace-10 offsuit again to him. For me, strike 3, and I'm calling with a hand as strong as ace-10 offsuit. That's 2 opportunities Eves has had to put Goofy away. But it is a lot of chips to be calling at this late stage with a hand even as strong as ace-10 offsuit. And it is representing such a large portion of your remaining stack. And Celine raising with queen jack offsuit under the gun to 125k. The problem with this is she's just leaving herself with 365k behind. And although not essentially committing herself, she is putting in about 25% of her stack. 29 players remaining now. Round to the small blind for Duplo. King 6 offsuit. If the graphics serve me right, he's just folded into Celine, which is quite a strange fold with Celine being as short as she is. Perhaps he just didn't fancy that one, or might have seen her look at her cards, or again, this could be decision fatigue. I do believe he should just be going all in here with his King 6 offsuit, putting the pressure back on Celine. Duplo moving all in on the button with ace-10 of spades. Celine picking up ace-queen, the small blind. What a time to be alive for her. Dominating Duplo. This is very unlucky for Duplo. Having a hand as strong as ace-10 suited on the button. Duplo all in, but having Celine covered, but it is a huge percentage of his stack. 640k of his 940k is at risk here, and the flop is 6, 7, 8 rainbow. That gives Duplo additional outs with a 9 for a straight. Is Celine still ahead? The turn card is the 8 of diamonds. Celine in good shape here. The river coming to 5. She's jumping for joy. Happy feet, happy seat. Duplo now will be down to about 6 to 7 big blinds. Celine winning that pot of 1.4 million. So big moment for her in this tournament. Nothing Duplo can do there. She's got to get the money in with ace 10 suited from the button against the small blind. Deciding to shove, knowing he would have to call off a hand anyway, so deciding to just go all in. Not wanting a hand like a small pair or a weak king to rejam. Having to call it off, just wanting to take the blinds and antes. 69 big blinds now for Abd. You see he is overwhelming chip leader. Eves the next to him with 27 big blinds. That is a whopping difference. Celine now with 27 big blinds also, and the rest all following the three of the top players at the table. Top players in chips anyway. As we have another elimination, we are now down to 28 players. Quite fast-paced action since we got back from the break. We've had a minimum of 4 eliminations, maybe even 5. Pixie taking down the blinds and antes with Queen Jack off suit. Eves folding an ace in the big blind. This is a testament to what I was saying earlier, that players are really feeling the pressure out there. You'll see some of them making tighter folds than they should be. Others putting the pressure on their opponents by moving all in, and it's just the idea is in your head and you are very set in your ways that you are going to get through to tomorrow, and making so many decisions per day. You're this close to bagging up chips. It can be quite difficult to make your brain think in the correct way, is the easy way of putting it, as the average stack almost hits 2 million. Duplo seizing this opportunity to move his last 6 big blinds into the middle with King Queen off suit from the hijack, and Celine in the cutoff here. Looks a bit perplexed. Abd being the original raiser there to 110k. She gets out of the way with the ace-9 and a necessary pass from her. And Eves now weighing up his options here with the same hand as Duplo. The problem is Abd has opened originally, so I would expect we will see Eves get out of the way, considering we've seen him make a couple of tight folds now. Ace-10 offsuit against Goofy twice, and the ace-4 against Queen Jack a moment ago. Abd will call for 190k more and put Duplo at risk. But is Duplo all in for his tournament life with his last 6 big blinds? Abd well able to afford this flip, and Abd will be in great shape here. Duplo's outs being folded, and a 4 in the window. That does not look like a good outcome for Duplo. Needing serious help with a straight here. Abd flopping a set. The turn, the 8 of spades. No help to Duplo. He is dead to a 10 and a 10 only. The river card is the Queen of Diamonds. Duplo is eliminated. The rich will get richer. We will lose another player and we are down to 27. All players now guaranteed €2,367. Ace 10 of spades for Mark. The average stack now over 2 million. Celine calling in the hijack with ace deuce of clubs. Pixie from the cutoff, letting her trash go. Around to Eves on the button. Won't be playing 10-3 offsuit, that's for sure. The blinds will get out of the way. We will see a flop 3 ways, and it is ace 5-5. Celine and Mark both flopping top pair, but it is Abd out the lead from the big blind. Flopping trips. Running good so far, Abd at this table. Would expect him to just call with a 5 here, and he does. Now Mark, playing just over 1 million, will call the 150k. So we will see a turn card 3 ways, 855k in the middle so far. The turn is the 10 of clubs, and that's a disaster card for Mark. If he checks quickly, Celine with the club draw as well. I would like to see her just check behind, try hit a club, see if she can control the size of this pot, but does not go that way. Now Abd is cutting out a raise. This is getting spicy. Things are heating up here. The price of poker is going up. And he would raise to 480k. And now Mark, if you are Mark, Celine has bet 200k. Abd has raised to 480k. You have hit what you would perceive to be one of the best cards in the deck on the turn for your hand. You now have top 2 pair. But the action in front of you would indicate that one of these players could perhaps have a 5. Wow, wow, wow. That is an incredible fold. He's put his Abd on exactly what he has, a 5. He's got out of the way relatively quickly, and I find that quite impressive. Seen some impressive folds at this table today, and that was certainly one of them. Celine is going to need a club on this river. Look at that size of this pot, 1.8 million in the middle now. She's going to need a club, but it is not, it's the 4 of hearts. Now Abd is just going to simply move all in, and Celine is going to have to fold. she really can beat nothing, only a bluff. And the action that's happened behind her and Mark to get out of the way, it just, unless Abd had a hand that contained clubs himself, but we block our opponent having clubs, it's just a terrible situation to be in. That is why I would have liked to see Celine check behind on the turn, see the river card for cheap. Instead, she's lost like 480k more by betting 200k and then being more than priced in to call basically a min raise. But the hero of this hand is Mark getting out of the way. But I guess what can we expect our opponent to have when they raise us on the turn into two players? It just kind of has to be a 5. Celine will deliberate about this for a moment, but I do expect we will see her she calls. And that's just very unfortunate. She decided she was going on the read that her opponent was bluffing with such a large stack, and she's called it off, and unfortunately will become our 27th place finisher. €2,367 for her efforts. She will be very disappointed. I feel that she didn't check behind that turn. And look at this, the story, the hero. The hero of this moment is Abd. He's moving over 5 million, even more. He is absolutely wamboozing this table. Abd with 110 big blinds, 5.5 million. The closest to him is Eve's 25 big blinds, Mark with 18, Goofy with 15, and Pixie, our short stack at the table, albeit still has 13 big blinds. It is all to play for here. Small blind 25k, big blind 50k with a 50k big blind ante. Live from the King's Resort in Rozvadov as we close out the last two levels of tonight for the Swiss Poker Open.
Maybe actually then I'm not big one, right? Because I don't know. Because the play from three. We will see. I don't know. Okay.
And you can see now we will be getting back to the action. We will have a new player at our table, Rozvadov. Still only has 1.4 million as opposed to our chip leader who has a whopping 5.5. So back to the action. Hand 73. 26 players remaining. And I do believe we will actually be finishing tonight with 24 players remaining. So just 2 more eliminations. We will have 3 tables coming back tomorrow. 24 playing down to a Swiss Poker Open champion. Goofy moving all in. He likes this Queen 8 offsuit, our Goofy. Luca getting out of the way with King 3 of clubs. Goofy picking up the blinds and antes. Pixie under the gun will be mucking her 5 deuce offsuit. It looks like we are playing 6-handed. Perhaps she is just pausing. I think you will see the play slow down. The players now knowing that 2 more eliminations would mean they will be coming back tomorrow. Pixie folding her 4 deuce. I believe all the players are going to stall then. They must know. I know what the crack is here and are probably keeping an eye on the outer tables, although we can't see what's going on at the outer tables. But the feature table is all the one that matters. just 5 players at this table. 6, sorry. I could not see the last player on my screen. And a raise from Abd. He can be opening so wide, knowing what's at stake, knowing the exact dynamic and situation of all the players left of this tournament. Almost, I don't know how much chips the second place would be, but I don't know if it's more than 5.5 million. I seriously doubt it. Over 100 big blinds. So if I was in Ab's shoes, I would be raising almost any 2 cards. Maybe not quite any 2, but very wide indeed. Just so much chips to be hoovered up here. With just 2 eliminations away from day 3 of the Swiss Poker Open.
Why are we short-handed? Makes no sense. Yeah. Wait, excuse me. Why are we short-handed?
Round to Pixie, the small blind. Now she really just needs to seize this opportunity and move all in here with King 10 off suit. Especially how, considering Eves has made a few tight folds, you want to be taking those blinds and antes while you can. She does move all in. Luka Jovic, King 10 of hearts in the hijack. With a raise to 100k. Take the blinds and antes. Round to the button for Eves with King 8 offsuit. You will min raise to 100k. And Ab able to just move all in from the big blind. This time having the goods here with Ace Jack offsuit will give him a show. Goofy moving over the top here with Ace Jack of spades, having the goods this time. Get Mark to fold his Ace 9 offsuit. Thank you, Jay Wasello. I'm sure we'll have many more of us tuning in tomorrow. Not much happening with the Twitch chat this evening, but that's okay. It is late on a Sunday night. Happy to call the action anytime from King's Casino, King's Resort. And I predict we will see some thrilling action with this guy tomorrow. With a stack like that, we're going to see action. Meanwhile, Luca limping with Queen 6 offsuit. Luca with the best of it on ace, king, 7, 2 clubs. Could bet or just check. Betting for protection. The stream will start at the usual time, Central European time at 2:30.
People are like, they play like 5 tables online at the same time, and then they have hand players like.
No, but I did say for myself, I'm a very fast decider. I play very fast.
And we will play down to a winner, of course.
No reason to take people.
Exactly, you know the
Yeah, people know the decisions. They are always like, they want to take because maybe.
I know instantly.
The average stack now 2.2 million. We have lost a player, so 25 remain. So one more elimination, and it's GG for the night. And this looks like it could be. Looks like good job for me. Goofy raising to 155k with pocket nines. Arts, the next elimination will complete today's poker, and we will come back at 2:30 tomorrow. We'll look at this, and this could be the last hand of the night, really. We don't know yet, of course. One of Goofy's nines is gone, but Abd committing himself here with the 3-bet to 445k. Goofy, I would expect to go all in, but he's decided to just call the 290k, leaving himself with 710k behind. Quite a large, considerable chunk of his stack he's putting in pre-flop, just leaving himself with 700k, about 14 big blinds, and the flop is king 8 5. Now if I'm Goofy, do I just put it all in, take down $1 million? It looks like he's just gone all in. This is a bizarre way to play pocket nines off this stack depth to the 3-bet. However, looks like it's going to work, but Ab might be thinking, is my opponent doing this with worse? If he had a hand stronger than the one he's letting on to have, he would probably have just put it all in pre-flop, but it still is 710k to find out. And we can just fold and bag up over 3 million here. We can still bag up 4.5, but with 1.7 in the middle, he's getting a decent price, but he's hoping to see a hand that's very similar. He's not going to be ahead of much. I'm torn between call and fold here if I'm Abd. Perhaps our opponent, he calls himself Goofy. He has definitely been playing Goofy. So it's exactly what it says on the tin. Abd going to let that one go. And a good fold from Abd. Very easy to just be like, oh, my opponent could have ace 9, ace 10, ace jack. Maybe this, I don't think he would put him on the same hand, and surely ace king just gets it in pre, but if nines didn't get it in pre, maybe ace king wasn't getting it in pre either. Hard to know when players are playing Goofy. Always expect the unexpected at King's Resort. No, you are not watching the Spanish Poker Festival. This is the Swiss Poker Open. Close but no cigar. Ab raising again here, this time from the hijack with ace-9 off suit.
Auswärts. Good ace. How good the ace depends on the stack.
The blind top 30, 60, 60.
At least I had you down.
One pass. Two pass. Three race over.
Mark moving all in from the cutoff with king-9 of hearts for 560k. So the blinds are now up 30k, 60k with a 60k ante. So just under 10 blinds for Mark.
Eight pass. 560, I think.
And Goofy with pocket 10s will be calling here. And we are going to see an all-in call. He's just asking for a count, but surely not folding pocket 10s. And Goofy needs to hold with his pocket 10s, but a very good opportunity to win a 1.2 million chip pot, end the day and bag up, going back tomorrow with 24 players left. Big moment for both of the players here. Mark with king-9 of hearts, Goofy with pocket 10s. My money seems to be on good. I feel like Goofy is going to hold here, is my gut. 3 deuce deuce 1 heart. Backdoor hearts working for Mark, needing a king otherwise. Just 20%. Goofy looking to hold the turn card, the ace of spades, not a good card for Mark. Needing a king now and a king only. 8% for Mark as we go to the river. The river is the 5 of diamonds. Goofy's done it. Mark is eliminated in our 25th place. And that's it, guys. That is all from me for tonight. Ab bagging up 5.4 million. Goofy 2.3. Luca 1.4. Eves 910k. And Pixie, our short stack, just with 550k. But it's all to play for tomorrow. Make sure you tune in for the Swiss Poker Open final day, of where we will crown a champion live from the King's Resort in Rozvadov. I've been Dan Rankin. You've been a great audience. Thank you and good night.
First you sign the paper with your signature and chip count to your name, and then I give it back. Find your name, signature and chip count, and then I give you the back. 550.